Detective Lance.
Yeah, Detective Lance. Detective Lance and pre-Queen's Gambit Sarah Lance.
Yes. With her bangs.
With her bangs. And by the way, Katie is so great in that episode. I love it when she plays pre-Gambit Sarah. It's awesome.
Nice. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
Gambit is the boat, right?
Gambit is the boat.
Yeah, it's the boat.
Just in case anybody else.
So Mark, when this show was greenlit,
You know, Dominic and Wentworth and Victor from Flash. We knew we wanted Katie and Brandon. We just didn't expect them to say yes. That was the surprise. And we couldn't be more excited. It's incredible. It really, I mean, literally everyone here, you know, including Sierra and Franz and Arthur, were our first choices. We didn't like go to another actor to play Rip Hunter and got passed on and then came to Arthur. Like everyone who's on the show is our first choice. That's incredible. That never happens. You never get everything you want in Hollywood.
when you guys are starting to think of that tone, coming from Arrow, where you know there was Ray got to do a lot of the lighter stuff, but Sarah didn't have an easy time. To coming to this, where there's so much just fun and so much running around and excitement, like you didn't have to worry about taking 3 arrows to the chest, you didn't have to worry about the angst and all that stuff.
You know, that was actually one of the hardest parts, was adjusting to the difference of tone of the show. And I remember when I got the pilot script and like reading Sarah's lines, and she's like, "You want to dance, Leonard?" and like all this stuff. I'm like, "Whoa! Like, who is this? Like, this doesn't feel like Sarah at all." And I think because she's kind of gone through so much, and it was like she's died. Like everything has just been bad. At this point, she's gonna be like, all right, like be able to have some levity to it. So that kind of allowed her to adjust to being on the show. And I think it's just, yeah, she's got a new lightheartedness that is nice to see for her.
And I think for Ray, I mean, you're right. I did get to do a lot of that already at Arrow and Flash. So Ray didn't change too much. I think maybe he has even a little bit more fun, allowed to have a little bit more silliness more often, and opportunity actually to go a little bit deeper into the drama, as it were, especially getting later into the season. Whereas I didn't do as much of that in Arrow. And I get more involved in the fighting and all that stuff in this than, you know, because we only had a couple episodes of Adam in Arrow before we evolved into Legend of Tomorrow. So.
And in all the places that the team has traveled, are there no dry cleaners? Because for someone named the White Canary, her costume is filthy.
It's kind of like a taupe off-white.
It's like, it's like a dirty beige canary.
We're having discussions about it, you know?
We've had conversations about this. We have. A lot of conversations, actually.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be all worked up and get a kind of new outfit next season. You never know.
I guess this is a good time to announce the character who will be joining in season 2, the dry cleaner.
There you go.
I really thought you were going to say it. I was like, wait, what? Don't spoil
You know me
it.
better than that. I would never do that.
Sarah, when you also came from, you know, the lightness of Flash, and then a couple episodes in, they go and kill your destined boyfriend. What did you think when you got that script and you're like, oh my god, we just got together again?
Yeah, well, I don't know that they were quite together. They were definitely working together. I don't know. I think every kind of twist and turn that's been thrown our way has helped Kendra grow substantially, which is kind of something that she needs. But yeah, it was very different coming from Flash, which is definitely lighter and a bit happier. But I also think that her storyline in general just was pretty dark to start with. It's not like necessarily the happiest one. So even though she was on Flash, I think that her storyline got dark pretty quick. So transitioning over, it was okay.
And now Mark.
Actually, one of my favorites, and I love, we went to the 50s and they did not shy away from talking about some of the issues that existed there. I mean, like with interracial marriage, and then you had Franz's character, like dealing with those jocks, and so it's like racism, sexism, everything there. And I remember like reading some of the stuff with the nurse, and I was like, I feel kind of predatory. Like, I'm like, what are you feeling, Lindsay? And like, I was like, but it was really fun to play, and fun to explore. And Mark and I had talked about it, and it was always a big thing for both of us to make sure that she has like a good kind of girl relationship, get the lesbian relationship going. So we know that that's such an important part for Sarah and who she is. So I'm glad that we got to explore it, and to explore in the 1950s when it's so like taboo back then is cool.
And friends, I feel like that episode was also huge for you because it kind of gave us that look at this young kid, who he wants to get a girlfriend. He's
heavy with it, but we definitely made sure we gave it a nod, and it was good to kind of do that. Yeah.
I thought, why at the end does she go with the other guy? Like the boyfriend comes back and she's like, and you're like, I got you a car.
Jack just can't catch a break. It's like, damn, so I got you a car and everything, and you still don't even hand drive.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
So friends,
I think that the big part of it is learning from each other, understanding our differences, and feeling out how we can really be a team and learn from each other. From Ray's perspective, I think he judged a couple of the teammates early on, which he's come now to understand that they have added great value, and then it's really just kind of the more you understand the person's background, the more you can understand where they're coming from, why they make the decisions they make, and that they're not terrible people really. They've just the decisions in life have led them to the place where they are now, and it doesn't mean you can't work with them and come to a better understanding of who that person is. And I think all the team is doing that by and large throughout the season. Wild West.
is that because you got to be the sheriff?
That helped. But just kind of showing up and putting on the Western gear and my trench coat, or duster, and my hat was pretty fun. And it was like miserable shooting alone, so in the rain, in the mud, days on end. But it still was a lot of fun.
And we got to ride horses.
And we rode some horses.
Yeah, that was fun. The horses were fun. It's always fun working with horses and trying to get them to do what you want them to do, and they have a mind of their own. It's like, guys, can you not just stay? It was a lot of fun. It was hard, but it was fun for sure. What's one was cool.
Katie?
I feel like I just belong in the 70s. So it's a good one for me.
And Sierra?
Well, aside from like loving the horseback riding in the Western, I really liked the 50s. Yeah, just because we got to discuss issues that I feel are really relevant to right now, and I think that's really great that we can use our art to do something, to speak on something that's happening now.
And it also served to kind of feed that romantic possibility that, if you guys have seen the photos from advanced episodes of the two of you sitting and seemingly having a very lovely, picnic, luncheon together.
It was just paparazzi. We just decided to have a picnic.
That was just yeah.
A day off.
What can you tease us about what we could expect from that situation?
I think it's a complicated situation for sure, as we've already discussed with, the dead guy triangle that we've got going on.
Very powerful.
I think it's also going to be interesting to see what this 2-year time gap is going to do for them, because that's how long they get stuck. So that's plenty of time to either come close together or tear far apart. So
Come back together, maybe.
or maybe that's what, yeah.
All right. Okay. Something that I did want to point.
They were cursing.
You feel so cool. Like, I like the feeling of looking around and it's like, I could, take any one of you. Like, not in real life, like I couldn't in real life.
I don't know, I think you
probably
could
couldn't
in
take
real
us.
life.
Everyone thinks I'm way tougher than I really am.
You kind of are though.
She will kick you in your
kind of beat
face.
me up on set a lot.
Maybe we say that and then someone's gonna try to come fight me at a bar. And then I'm just gonna get arrested and but no, it's just like you feel cool. Like you have stunt people where, you know, like you fake punch them and they like fly across the room and you're like, yes.
No leather though.
Yours is like lycra, isn't it?
No, but it like clicks and it also makes like deep
The gears on it move.
sounds. Yeah.
And all the little individual gears on the joints move, and also my heels of my suit. A lot of the time they clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, like Monty Python and coconuts. It's really fun. I've not made a big fuss to make them change it because I love it actually.
Right. How long does it take to get into that thing?
We've got it down now. I get into, there's a 2-part underpiece suit that I get into my trailer, and then I walk the set and I get into the actual armored part of it. So it's, I mean, if we were going to do it fast, we'd probably do 15 minutes, but more relaxed, it's more like 15 to 20.
But you're saying that there is a time during production where you're just walking around Vancouver in a 2-piece under?
Yeah, vacation time. At least I have a jacket on.
It's time for us to book a trip, kids. Okay, so
The suit's pretty revealing even without that, so it's not like you're not missing much.
you guys had Mr. Stephen Amell on your show.
We shot, especially when we were on the Arrow set, it still felt like
He hasn't been to like our hood really.
Yeah, he didn't
Shot
come on
it
the
on Arrow
spaceship. But because we were on the Arrow set, which was weird too, like when we went and shot that, because that was the actual Arrow set, and they just messed everything up and like, you know, put all the tarps and like cobwebs and smashed the glass, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so sad seeing it like that. But it was. Go ahead.
Well, the way we achieved that look was we had the Arrow wrap party the day before, and we just
Burn it all.
But it was so fun working with him, like, and seeing Steven as like an old man. He's like such a cute old man, like just like, get off my lawn. Like that is so gonna be him at 65.
And the greatest is that even like 30 years old, he was clearly still doing his push-ups. You know, like he just got grayer, but he's still jacked.
Was there a discussion about a belly for him? Because I feel like he was very fit 65 and he should have had a fake like fat belly.
we did talk about it.
Did Stephen X say that? He was like, oh
I just
no.
think that no one would buy the idea that Oliver Queen would ever lose those abs.
He just doesn't want to believe that. Like, keep that fantasy alive.
Basically, the concession we made was his 8-pack is now a 6-pack. That's what it is.
All right, so with
To character, obviously. But it's like I always kind of take myself to why does Jack speak how he speaks, what is his upbringing, why does that make him speak how he does, and yeah, he just kind of, pretty bad answer on my
Salman.